Please have explosive powder, I'm begging you.
Do they have explosive powder?
No!
Oh, no.
Wow. Okay. 38 minutes in, time to reset.
All right. Rick R. Mortis. I don't think that one works for a skeleton because I think rigor mortis is something that happens to the muscles.
Yeah. Now to wait 30 seconds for the multiplayer to initialize.
Dana Scully.
Alright, I'm gonna have to
You're not wrong.
I'm gonna have to remember to check the shop in Meren too for explosive powder. I can't wait for someone to put in the comments that, hey, you know you missed explosive powder again. Because last time I did this, my previous run, I looked for it in the shop in Town 3, couldn't find it, and therefore ran back to Town 2 to get it. But apparently it actually was in the Town 3 shop, I just didn't see it.
That does not surprise me.
So it's like, cool. Love that. Oh, boy.
Names of bones.
Tibia. Femur.
Humerus.
Skull.
Flanges.
Ribs. I can be McRib.
Vertebrae.
Like, hello, my name is Tibia McRib.
McRib. I mean, McRib works.
Bones McRib. Kind of like Bones McRib, actually.
Bones McRib is actually, like, it's not as, like, the problem is it's better than your last two, right? Like, it's not quite as, like, oh god, you have to be kidding me, as calcium.
We're now Bones McRib.
Bones McRib.
I do like
Bones McRib appearing thanks to fluctuations in pork futures. The actual reason that the McRib is seasonal.
I'm just checking. No, they don't have explosive powder here because it's too high level.
Mm.
It's like a level 3 spell. You gotta be kidding me. That's way too powerful for you.
Yeah. Yeah. Where did it? Okay.
R.I.P. Calcium.
McRib.
I wonder what it was he saw. M, I guess.
What?
I wonder what it was that Cal saw, but I guess it was M. He saw M.
Oh, yeah.
That's not a... That's not a joke. That's not what humor is.
You know, who are we if not the arbiters of all humor?
Man, they really want me.
I keep thinking of the, like, there's no way this was actually intentional, but everyone online was convinced it was pun with the name Cal Abar in the Watchmen TV show. That, like, it's like, no, I guess it was intentional, but it's a weird. It's like, of all the ways you could signal the character's identity, there's no way this was actually, like, how you meant to do it. Have you seen Watchmen?
Nope. This whole thing is just going to be you asking if I've seen something and me saying that no, I have not.
What? Okay. Well, let's try it this way. What have you seen?
Ooh, here we go. Here's a better shortcut.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's a shortcut, all right. I'll take that. That was awesome. I'd say for like probably random ballpark 30 seconds maybe. I don't know. That's just a guess.
Hey, 30 seconds is 30 seconds.
Yep. And it'll really stack up to that 2 hours later in the box.
I truly do. I do. For some reason, I was deeply amused by the low-res portrait of a skull flashing yellow. For some reason, it was very.
Oh no! You're gonna become more skeleton-y! You'll become a dead skeleton instead of an alive skeleton.
Mm.
And that's terrible.
A living skeleton and a dead skeleton have the same number of bones. I don't see what the difference is. Again, I guess if you haven't seen Watchmen or read, I guess that's just the comic, right? That's.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it depends. Like, is it like a baby skeleton?
That is the distinction there. Wait, for the record, the actual line from the Watchmen comic is, at least I think it's from the Watchmen comic. Maybe I haven't flipped with something else. Is like a living body and a dead body have the same number of particles. So from the universe's perspective, there isn't actually a difference between them.
Sounds needlessly philosophical.
Yeah, that's Dr. Manhattan for you. It's one of those things where it's like, yeah, that's the point, and then people who read it will be like, this is so deep, and this is actually successfully like figured out the meaning of things. It's like
all the people.
Do you not realize all these characters are supposed to be terrible?
Oh, it's like all the people who think Rick from Rick and Morty is a role model.
It's like, and so like Dr. Manhattan, at least, like, I think people generally grok that's like, oh, this guy's not like. I think people maybe like grok that it's like, oh, he's not supposed to be right. The problem is that they think Rorschach is.
Bones McRib has decided to stop living for a while.
Big mood. Right? It's like literally, Alan Moore has a whole lot of fucking problems himself, right? Particularly with regards to violence towards women in his comics. But it is deeply, it is like, he is, basically one of the, like, I wrote this character to sort of be like, this is what would happen if someone was around in the real world with the mentality that they were Batman, right? And like, they would be like locked up in an asylum. Like, this is not a reasonable way to behave. He's like this very like unseemly, unpleasant person who's meant to, again, like Rick from Rick and Morty. It's like, this is like, yeah, this is a character, but like, you're not supposed to want to be this person. And he's just like, my mistake was thinking that comics readers would be able to pick up on that, and unfortunately, the average comic reader, it turns out, that did not. And so I still have people coming up to me and being like, "Oh, I really identified with Rorschach," and I'll say to them like, "All right, excellent. Please never come near me again." It's like, all right, Alan. I mean, it's fair
like,
cop.
It's like imagine that you're the person who wrote the Friday the 13th movies or whatever, and a fan comes up to you and is like, "Oh man, I really like empathize with how you wrote Freddy. Like I feel like he really represents me." And you're like, "Cool, security?"
So, first off, Friday the 13th is Jason.
Whatever, man.
Elm Street is.
That's
is
not the
Freddy.
point.
No. So that's I mean, the difference is, of course, like, Rorschach is in a protagonist role in Watchmen, right? Because it is like it's supposed to be a deconstruction, right? It's supposed to be a deconstruction of superhero stuff, right? I think it'd be a little cuter as like, like the more accurate comparison I think would be if someone went up to Gen Irabuchi after watching Madoka and was like, I really, Kyubey is my favorite character. I want to be friends with Kyubey.
Oh no.
Right? It is presented in like, okay, within the realm of the story up to a certain point, it's like, and it's like, oh, okay, no, this person's.
I'm just remembering someone's like first experience with Madoka on like Tumblr or something, and they see like Kyubey at the start, like, oh no, the cute little bunny rabbit thing is hurt, and then like they come back later just add the comment, he should have stayed hurt.
I mean, yeah. I love the problem with and like literally the problem with the Watchmen movie adaptation was Zack Snyder is obviously amongst the people who completely failed to grok that this was supposed to be a deconstruction.
Oh boy.
Right? Which then when you see what he did with not Superman and everything, it's like, oh, you... Superman. I mean, it's like... It makes a lot more sense when you find out that that Zack Snyder's dream is to adapt Atlas Shrugged. Once you find that out, it's just like, oh, that explains everything.
I am running to the left.
To the left.
I actually looked up a map of length.
Right. No, that's left. Yes. Okay. Yeah.
Use your left hand to make an L with your fingers.
No, I was trying to remember what the line from Thomas Was Alone was, and I thought it was up and to the left, except that it must be up and to the right because.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's up and to the right.
Yeah, and so that was what I got turned around on. I'm aware of what direction is.
I haven't thought about Thomas Is Alone for a hot minute, but that was a good game.
Mm.
I haven't finished Benjamin's Flight ever, and I don't know if I ever will, but I think we're on the wrong way. No, wait, nope. Lang is still squinting at sign. This way. Still more west. Everything looks the same in Langmire.
Mm.
That's why I got the mnemonic of just... not mnemonic, just the strat of just head west. Don't bother, like,
I would say that is a heuristic rather than a mnemonic.
Yeah, it's not a mnemonic. Not by any stretch of the imagination.
Mnemonic would be like...
I should have... Maybe if I picked up some gold on the way to the ancient crypt earlier, I could have, like... But I have 60 gold right now. And if I think I just need 75 for explosive powder.
The mnemonic would be like, apply hefty weed. It's like, what's that for? Always head west. Dude, that's the same number of words. Yeah, but I needed to make a mnemonic out of it. Remember, ew. Spelled I-E-W. East is wrong.
I'm remembering the trailer for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. It's like,
No, that line was in the show.
Yeah, just... And what does that name mean to you? It means that someone really wanted our name to spell out the word S.H.I.E.L.D.
I legitimately do love that line. It is a shame about a bunch of other stuff with the show. But that... Like, it's one of those things where, like, it perfectly clocks with, like, it's also just, like, actually good writing because it clocks with the character as you know them then, and then when you find out, like, spoilers, that they're actually a Hydra agent undercover, it's like, that is also equally cynical.
That old plot point again, huh?
I mean, so... some point they decided, right, that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. just wasn't going to count. But during Season 1, they definitely were like... I mean, I legitimately was so hyped that they were able to, like, schedule it so that we had an episode that came out the week before Winter Soldier that like ended with like the show in real time as the movie came out, and you actually felt like that event happened, you know, in temporal synchronicity with the events of the show, right? Like you were watching the events of the MCU week to week to week, and then Winter Soldier happens, and then it's like, and you know, so having a character on the show that turned out to be like, it's not that plot point again. That was the same plot point, just being reflected in the show, and I think it was actually done pretty well. And then I think very shortly after that they were like, you know, this isn't so to its credit, part of it is that I believe that there was a slight reorganization where the TV and movie departments they became separate entities for a while, and then only recently like were merged back together.
And that explains WandaVision.
Yeah.
If they merge back.
It's complicated, and there's a bunch of, you know, bad reasons and good reasons. To, you know, it's a whole mess. Long story short, part of all of this is, look, the only reason we're getting a freaking Shang-Chi movie, or got a Black Panther movie, or had, you know, anything like that, was because of part of this reorg, meaning that the Trump supporter head of Marvel Comics no longer had any say in what was actually happening in the movies.
Oh man.
But it's a whole thing.
Also, we got some armor.
Sweet. But yeah, over time, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. definitely, like, they gave up on trying to acknowledge that it was in canon with the movies, and I think at this point it's been fairly solidly established. Like, maybe some of the events that happened in the show must have happened in the movie. For example, like in Age of Ultron, if it wasn't for Coulson, there's not really an explanation for how the helicarrier shows up at the end.
The good old broad strokes canon.
Yeah, but it's like, essentially for a very long time the rule was Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. takes place in a universe, and this applies to like Daredevil and Jessica Jones and everything too. Takes place in a universe where the events of the Marvel movies happen. The Marvel movies do not necessarily take place in a continuity where Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. happen.
So it's like a square and a circle kind of. Circle? Square and a
And
rectangle.
like, I mean, honestly, it's like you honestly could get away. The two issues that keep it from just being like, well, it's fine, that as I understand it, are, first off, it is inexcusable that Coulson would not have been at Tony's funeral. Like, no, you could have had him show up. Like you don't even need to acknowledge, like, like, it's been 2 years. I feel like at this point.
But the memes. Also, you did a spoiler warning for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
That was facetious. But yeah, it's like, look, they marketed that, like, they've used Tony's death as a massive marketing point for multiple things since then. They don't, like, it's like, I think it's fine. So Coulson should have been at the funeral, and also the Darkhold as it appears in WandaVision is clearly a different book than the one that showed up in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
I haven't actually seen WandaVision because I don't have access to the service that streams it, but I just liked the idea of it progressing through the ages of TV, and then also having a really serious plot.
It was really good. If you find a means to watch it, I definitely highly suggest. I highly recommend it. Falcon Winter Soldier also pretty good, not as good in my opinion, but like, like it still has a lot of fucking American propaganda, but you know, considering that, despite you know, is it a spoiler to say what happens with that? Considering was a pretty major deal when it happened in the comics a couple of years ago, or no?
Oh, you mean like the whole thing with the Captain America Hydra?
Oh no. In relation to the Falcon.
Oh no, I don't follow the comics, so go for
I
it.
won't.
Go for it. I will probably not watch it.
Hmm?
Go for it. I probably won't actually watch it.
Oh, and so I mean, Sam Wilson is the new Captain America,
Well, yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, that now,
And also Falcon.
Literally, and I called this way ahead of time, right? It's Falcon and Winter Soldier, and I'm like, the last episode they're going to change the title card and it's going to say Captain America and the Winter Soldier, and they absolutely did do that. Like, yeah, of course they did. And so what I was going to say is, like, it's good, but, like, look, it is Captain America. You're going to run into some pretty heavy, you know, propaganda.
Yeah.
They still handled, like, the anarchist, anti-American character better than I was worried they were going to. And kind of did have to resort to, like, oh, wait, everything this character is doing is actually good, so we're going to have them also set off a bomb just so that they have done something like bad to make them the villain, and then like even after they do that, still portrayed them as like more sympathetic than I really like. I was worried that they would. It was very like it's like unmistakable. Like there have been multiple essays. I'm like, nah, this is still really heavily American propaganda. But it's like my bar was so low, for it that it's like nah, this. It's no worse than any of the other MCU Captain Americas.
Hey, I did this bit way better this time.
Yeah. The fucking flashing yellow skeleton head is...
Warning! Your skeleton is being covered in pee.
Alert! Skeleton!
Warning! Your skeleton is drowning in lemons.
I'm just picturing like alert, time for skeleton.
Me when I start these playthroughs.
You have to make like a GIF of of it for next time, and just like when you like tweet out that you're doing it, just like have it just be like the image be like a GIF of the flashing yellow skeleton.
No, just like a short video that also has like the like the Kill Bill siren.
Yeah, or God, what is the audio? What is actually playing as the audio in Look Around You when the Helvetica scenario happens?
Yes.
Are you not familiar with...
No. I'm never familiar with anything.
You've made Look Around You references before. I'm confident that you have made What Are Birds We Just Don't Know.
I've seen that GIF.
Oh, okay. So that is from a very, very excellent British satire of educational videos called Look Around You.
Okay.
That are absolutely amazing because they play it. It is played completely straight in like an old 70s educational video style.
Like David Attenborough.
Not David Attenborough, more like not Bill Nye. It's like the thing that like a science teacher would be like, I don't want to teach today. We're going to watch a video.
I mean, for us that was Bill Nye.
Yeah. For us it was Bill Nye, but like what Bill Nye was maybe trying to make more fun. Yeah. This very dry British voice being like, this video is going to teach you about crabs. There are many kinds of crabs.
There is only one step, and it is crab.
Yeah, like just like that kind of thing. So it'll be like, I don't remember which episode the What Are Birds We Just Don't Know is from. I don't think it was not an episode about bird. It was using it as an example for something else. that we don't know. It's like birds. What are they? We just like for example, like in the math
Warning,
episode.
skeleton.
In the math episode, they're like, mathematicians have given names to various different
Numbers.
It was shapes. And it's like, but to this day, they have failed to come up with a proper title for this shape, and it just shows a circle on the screen. And it's just like, if you think you have an idea for what this shape should be called, write into, and like gives like an address to like write into. The National Consortium of Mathematicians holds a contest every year, or like something like like.
God.
It's. I absolutely. It was the number one influence on the first Beathon video I did, right?
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah. Oh, and I died.
It happens.
Well, still better than I did last time. Unfortunately, I am gonna have to wait up at the top for a minute so I can pull the lever to go down.
Well, good thing you saved those 30 seconds with that shortcut earlier, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so
Oh boy.
educational films, and it's all great. The second season instead was like a panel show of like various people talking about what they think the future of something will be in like the year 2000, as though they were people on TV in the 80s talking about the future of 2000, except it aired in 2005.
What?
And it had some good stuff, but it was not as good. It had an excellent payoff to one running joke, but overall, season 1 was much better in my opinion.
Seasons do tend to be like that.
I wish we got more of what the first season was, which was again, each was a 10-minute educational video on the following subjects were the 9 episodes: calcium, math. Calcium was the calcium. So the Helvetica scenario is something that happens when you mess with calcium the wrong way. Maths, because it's British. Water, germs, ghosts, sulfur, music, iron, and the brain. Those are the subjects that you get this very like calm British narrator telling you complete lies about.
So this guy, he's supposed to drop the stone on death. He's actually unconscious right now. The monsters haven't killed him.
So is that a bug, or
I have no idea what it is.
does it mean you cannot like correctly progress?
I think he'll eventually stand up like players do, like when they stop being unconscious, and then I think they'll kill him. I think that happened to me in my first run. So I need to wait for him to stop being unconscious so they can kill him.
Aye.
So that I can continue playing the game. Come on, buddy. I'm gonna run back and forth to see if I can hit a trigger or something.
Right, yeah. The protons feed electrical information from the core of the molecule, where we find the central atom, or queen atom. Were the queen atom to leave the molecule, or nest, the effects would be disastrous, as the entire structure would come tumbling down. This is known as the Helvetica scenario. Shows black and white German horror film of scientists observing a man with no face trapped behind a window. The calcium has reacted to the sodium chloride to produce calcium chloride. Because calcium chloride is a conductor, the little lamp lights. Black liquid oozes from lamp. Small quantities of Thomason's oil, signorin, have also been produced. It's just like all stuff it's just lying to you, and it's amazing.
Oh, he's getting up. Got the stone. There we go.
Right, that's it. It was comparing birds to the full quote is, but what is water? It's a difficult question, because water is possible to describe. One might ask the same about birds. What are birds? We just don't know.
Someone in my chat actually said you can stand on top of him and have the ranged projectiles kill him. I was actually just thinking about doing that, but then he stood up anyway, so it didn't matter.
Oh, there you go.
But yes, thank you for joining me on this adventure. I really do hope that this shop or Crystwind has explosive powder so I don't have to reset again. Because I kinda need it. The other option is to just try and get a little bit of extra gold before I hit Lang and see if I can buy it there as well instead of grabbing money on Utraean. Gotta wait to be tangible so I can open this door. It's much better to be a tangible skeleton than an intangible skeleton. Actually, that's not true. The game would be a lot slower if I was always a tangible skeleton.
True.
These are... I love that sentence made sense.
I mean, it does, though.
It does make sense, and that's why it's so good.
And imagine if your skeleton was intangible. I feel like we could have evolved a much more efficient digestive system if that were the case.
Explosive powder, there you are. Cool. Got that for later. Okay, we now officially have a run.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Can't wait for something else to go wrong.
I mean, it kind of did already with the Fallraen Stone, but at least we saved time earlier. Compared to my previous attempt. You know, when I was a kid, I always misread Fallraen as Fallraen, and I think I like that version better. It's like, why is it called Fall Rain if it's snowy?
Yeah, like, Fallraen would be a great name for, like, Fantasy Seattle.
If it's like a rainy autumn town, you know? That'd be nice. But no, it's snow. I like the single-player campaign name.
There's been some climate change since they named it, okay?
I mean,
it's like how we were talking about having a place called Middle.
Oh, yeah. It's like the single-player campaign is a much better named cold town in the form of Glasern.
Yeah.
Which, amusingly enough, I keep accidentally calling Fallraen.
Yeah.
Bones McRib on his Bones McAdventure.
Bones McAdventure.
Bones McAdventure. Copyright 2021. Me. What's the copyright categorized as? Don't worry about it.
Miscellaneous.
Do you ever think about that one guy that, like, way back in the early days basically, like, copyrighted the concept of, like, an MMO, and so he's still, like, constantly suing people like Blizzard and whatnot to give him royalties?
That wouldn't be a copyright, though. That would be, like, patent or trademark.
Whatever. Yeah, it's a patent troll.
That doesn't... I mean, I was not aware of that happening, but that doesn't surprise me.
Go away, Wolf. Go away. Don't get on the platform! No!
No!
We're gonna take you out of your natural habitat!
The thing is, like, the problem with the patent troll stuff, like, if you ever actually look at the patents, it's like, This is intentionally obtuse and vague enough that it could apply to anything.
Oh, that was an awful wolf, because now I have to press this button, so I have to wait 54 seconds to respawn. Yeah, I should have tried to get some EXP there. Oh well. I'll get a good opportunity to get EXP at Quillrabe. Because I can get a guard.
Right, World Inc. I do remember. I remember. Wait, World Inc.
Yeah, you may remember that from a video that.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. Yep.
That's where I learned about it.
That's I believe the only time that I would have heard about it as well. But yeah, I completely forgot that aspect of that video. I was sort of caught up in the whole cult part.
I still enjoy trying to tell people about Kanye Quest.
I remember Kanye Quest when it happened. I was under the impression Kanye was directly involved with its development, which I guess is not the case. But would you have been surprised if he was? Doesn't that kind of scan?
Yeah, and it's like you'd think it would be the same type of project as Charles Barkley Shut Up and Jam Gaiden. And then, nope, it's got a cult in it. All right, okay. Either a cult or an ARG. It's not entirely clear which. And frankly, a lot of the times there's kind of a blurry line between the two.
Pretty confident that it's a cult. having done a number of ARGs.
I mean, there's the fact that the whole thing with the please input your information, blah blah blah, but it's it's not connected to the internet. It doesn't have the ability to connect to the internet. It's RPG Maker.
Yeah. I remember there being a bunch of theorizing at the time of there being some backdoor way that it was doing it.
I entered my information, and guess what? I'm still alive. This mage leather looks really weird.
Because there absolutely are ways that you could get an RPG Maker game to then report that information.
I guess.
But as far as I know, no one ever found a way to do it.
Yeah. That's I've heard theories that's why the original download was pulled, but if that's the case, why is there literally no other copies of it floating around that have that? And if so, where did those versions come from? Where were they distributed originally?
I guess it's the cult did it. I don't fucking know, man.
Yeah.
It's one of those. I mean, alternatively, it's the other possibility is, I don't know, maybe it's a real cult and they're just not good enough with computers to realize that they fucked up and didn't include a way for that information to get reported, right? Maybe.
I mean, I know there's a QR code in it that leads to a defunct website, so...
Yeah. So who knows?
Alright, let's see if I can not die twice to the Krug here.
I just always think about how fucking, watch anime for free websites are secretly using computers to mine Bitcoin. And it's I don't know, they could have figured out some weird wonky thing in the background to do with the RPG game, but as far as I know, again, it was just never...
Rune of Diamonds. Nice. Okay. First kill. And about to be 5th Townstone.
The 5th Townstone.
In the 2nd town. Because you went 15432. Funny
That's
enough,
the power of math.
We still have the quest to travel to this town, but since we haven't talked to the local priest, it's never going to be completed. Now to go on to town 6. And skip half of the journey to said town.
Seems like a good. I wish I could skip half the journey to places.
You saw me streaming the single player campaign before with Michael, right?
Yeah.
So
I've been doing.
Yeah.
Generally, what ends up happening is I will be doing some kind of housework and have you like on my phone while I'm doing it. So I'm not always like looking at the game, but I'm
No, I'm
paying
going the
attention.
wrong way. Great start.
Apparently paying more attention than you though.
No, so you remember how after the swamp we went through that whole giant goblin lair, and then that whole thing with like the all the floating skeletons with axes and the fury and the not beholder, and then all these skeleton guys. Yeah, we're skipping like all of that and going straight to the Droog, the guys with the orange skin and blue hair.
Oh,
We're doing a little bit of the skeleton zone, but we're skipping most of it.
Isn't anywhere we go the skeleton zone?
You know what? You're right, and you should say it. But yeah, we by going backwards, not only did our trips between towns 2, 3, 3, 4, and 4, 5 all become faster than normal because we got to take all the backtracking shortcuts on our way forward, but we get to skip half the journey from 5 to 6.
There you go. I'm just picturing
Routing.
Sorry, the skeleton zone. I suddenly had the image pop in my head of it's that old cartoon Shock Zone, with literally nothing different except that every instance of the word shock is replaced with skeleton.
Oh god, skeleton arch. Okay, yep. Knew that was coming.
Yeah, well.
Was this lovely little boy standing on the elevator waiting for me to resurrect so he can instantly bite me. Attack me and bite me to shreds.
It's how bones work.
He's able to bite me successfully, but despite me being a skeleton, because he's also a skeleton.
Yeah, that's how it works.
Yeah. I like how they still, like, scratch themselves like a living dog.
Well, I was gonna say muscle memory, but not muscle memory. It's
Doggy, could you move?
Hey, dog friend.
You have 10 seconds to please not be there. Skeleton archer, you're also on thin ice. 2, 1, 0.
God, I wish I remembered what skeleton archer did better, so I could make an MTG joke there.
Okay, we do actually have to do the whole skeleton section, but we skipped the Wraith and Fury cave, and we skipped the Goblin Warrens. So pretty good. And of course, there's archers here as well, so we're gonna have the same thing happen again, where we respawn, pull the lever, die, and then respawn and pull the lever and possibly die again. Great stuff. Elevators. I'm just so glad that I don't have to just dodge. Oh yeah, why didn't I think of that?
Yeah.
At least we don't have to do all the buttons in freaking Miner's Haven and the Goblin Warrens. Oh god. Oh jeez. Oh boy. Alright. Oh well. I almost got it. I almost dodged until I didn't. Just trying to figure out like the most closest I can get to like the snap point that it wants me to stand on when I pull the lever. Don't. No. Come on. Really?
Sorry, I was responding to a text from my dad. What happened?
This guy's standing on the elevator now too.
Oh no.
Come on.
Oh.
Yeah, keep going, a little further, yeah. I mean, I'm still gonna get ganked by Droog at the bottom, but maybe I'll get an extra 2 seconds of being alive.
An extra 2 seconds of being alive.
Bye, nerds. Droog time. Or as Michael called them, the e-girls, because he doesn't know what an e-girl is.
That was... Yep.
Thanks, Michael. What would we do without him? Oh, this, apparently.
Yeah.
Well, guess that answers that. Case closed. You good?
Yeah, I just communicating with my dad about, he's coming up to drive me home from my surgery on Friday.
I don't know why my like immediate maternal response to that was, "You have a dad?"
I'm not. Yeah, that's yeah.
I mean, obviously, I don't recall ever interacting with him before, hearing him be mentioned before. So, like, you have a dad. It's like how you could be surprised to find out people have siblings, but in this case, it's you have parents.
Right, so, like, generally speaking,
you were born.
I mean, debatable.
Oopsie, I'm alive now. I touched the healing thing while ago, so therefore I'm now alive. And now I'm not alive. I'm unalive. I've temporarily stepped out of this life.
It happens.
It does. We can all relate. Yeah, for some reason I remember the area around this town being a lot bigger, and I also remember, for some reason, as a kid, like, being forced to level grind in this area, and I don't know why. I also remember needing, like, 1,000,000 health potions to fight Dragon Queen. So I'm betting that what I'm doing right now is essentially what my strat was as a kid. I was the type of kid to always, like, run away from random encounters in RPGs. So I would always end up woefully underleveled. I would do that, yeah. Like, anytime there's like a boss fight or something, I'd be like, oh god, I'm gonna get the death. I can't do any damage.
Yeah, I sometimes have issue with that, as I don't know if you saw any of my... I mean, I still have an issue with, if you saw any of my Infinite Fusion. I'm like, oh, Infinite, more wild Pokemon, no, just get to town. And it's like, yeah. Oh, I wonder why I'm under level.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, the trainers should be enough, right?
And then, again, if you see any of the Infinite Fusions, like, oh, actually, these trainers are way too high power. Okay, time to do some.
You should try playing the Ore games. There are no wild Pokemon in that, only trainers.
I mean, I think I played them when they came out.
Oh, yeah, well, they're good. I like them. Anyway, I want to acknowledge that we're about 45 minutes into the run, and I'm pretty sure in my last attempt it was around the 2-hour mark by the time I got here.
Oh, well, I mean, that's good then.
So that's some improvement. That's much better. Even including the reset to bring us to like 1 hour 40 minutes, and also including all the setup at the start, that we're still on better pace.
Mm-hmm.
So, poggers.
Indeed. Poggers.
As the kids these days would say.
I don't think they say that anymore.
Oh. As the me
I think
these days would say.
That was like 2 generations ago at this point.
As I would say, poggers.
Yeah.
Alright, now then. What?
It always reminds me of like...
supposed to... Okay, there we go. Wait.
No, with Loading Ready Run, whenever they... Like, they're slightly older than us, right? They're millennials. In fact, I think at least one of them is technically Gen X. And whenever they like, and just like the context of any new trend is like, that's what the kids do these days. It's like, no, I don't think they do that anymore. Oh, cool, that means we can have it. Like once we started dabbing, we knew like that in and of itself demonstrates that the kids aren't doing it anymore, right? Like, yes, that's correct.
I should have probably brought a couple mana potions to this.
Yeah. They fucking... This is, like, only tangentially related, but it is such a wild thing to have happen. They revealed a card from a new Magic set that makes Black Lotus tokens. Which is absurd enough. Okay, it is a character from an old, generally was accepted to no longer be canon, like the first Magic the Gathering novel, named Garth One-Eye. From back when, before they started like having like more like it was literally like the premise was it's a wizard and all the conflict and spells and everything are literally just like, you know, the cards, right? It would be like he is casting spells that are literally cards, and the way the battle happens is literally like this is a sequence of turns in the game as, you know, depicted as a fantasy thing, right? And a lot of like the lore of like how things work just was not established, and it was, you know, like a joke of like this niche thing that no one who actually plays Magic or even reads the story probably is familiar with. And then for this fucking set, they were like, a character from the novels is finally getting a card, and everyone immediately jumped on it being this character named Callus that people have been clamoring for a card for a long time for a couple reasons, not the least of which is he canonically Jace Fallraen's boyfriend for a while, and obviously people would prefer them to start actually having LGBT representation rather than just saying they will. But also just like it is a character that people like so people kept saying like, I don't know, I'm looking back at all the novels and I feel like basically all the major characters have cards already other than Callus, so it's gotta be Callus, right? And then the next day they reveal Garth One-Eye from this ancient novel that everyone like forgot about except for me, but like again, this is one of my
your Lord Jorg.
Yeah. But like, and as soon as I saw it, and you probably saw a tweet, I literally just tweeted, Garth fucking One-Eye? And it's just like, on one hand, it's like, okay, that's exciting, because I know who this is, and that's cool. On the other hand, nah, I was also hoping it was Callus. Right? Because my biggest fucking problem with Magic right now is that they tried to retcon Chandra into being straight. And it's like, no, you need to fix that. Get her back with Nista. B, just like, do better with representation, and having Callus would have been like the lowest effort way to do it. But no, Garth fucking One-Eye. And the way that Garth One-Eye's card works is literally, it is you tap him and you can cast you make essentially a token of one of like 6 different spells from the first Magic set, right? One of each color and an artifact. And so literally it's you can tap him and then you still have to pay the costs and everything for it, and you can only do each once. But you can do like, you know, Disenchant, Terror, I don't remember the green or blue ones, Shivan Dragon, or Black Lotus. And it's just like, oh, alright, that's a heck of a thing to just put on a card. but also I guess this is the character. This is the character from the novel. This is the character from the novel. We're not getting calloused. Okay. And then the next fucking day, they reveal. It's like, okay, now we're out of characters from the novels that haven't gotten cards. Surely next, like they can't ever say that again without it. Like, if they ever say we're getting a character from the novels that hasn't gotten a card, it's gotta be calloused, right? And today they fucking reveal, technically from flavor text before it showed up in a novel, but they freaking reveal, however you say their name, because it's Rano Mardiceste Stricandiocar, whose name was like, who previously existed initially as, literally there was a piece of flavor text attributed to that name's underworld cookbook, and it was like a recipe for like cooking something for demons, and I don't remember what the thing was, and then showed up in a short story in a novel where it turned out that despite being a completely inhuman name, was actually a human who had been kidnapped by demons to cook for them.
Sure,
as you do, like, because this was very pulp fantasy novel, right? This was right after they had we're going to have this literally be a wizard casting the spells from the game, and instead we're just like, this is going to be fantasy vaguely relating to stuff that maybe shows up on some of the cards. And so, like, just pulp fantasy premise, it's a human kidnapped to cook for demons. Most people don't even know that the character showed up in a book. They think it's just this, like, there have been multiple flavor texts since with quotes from the cookbook, but and then and today they revealed that, like, oh no, they're getting cartoons. Like, okay, when are we getting calloused though? Like, I'm super here for these deep cuts, and the fact that you can make a Black Lotus token is wild. But, like, no, actually, maybe could we get the calloused card? That would show some goodwill towards what your current fans actually are asking for, you know?
I'm actually gonna say.
But yeah, you mentioned. Sorry, that I was just reminded by you talking about that you needed them. You should have brought more mana potions, since that's what. Yeah. If you don't know what Black Lotus actually does for how valuable, for literally costing $10,000 to get a physical copy of the damn thing, it is literally sacrifice it, get 3 mana.
But so obviously, like, Black Lotus isn't, like, legal, right? You're allowed to have one. I think you're only allowed to have one in your deck in Legacy. It hasn't been printed recently enough to be legal in, like, Modern or anything. So the formats you could play it in are Legacy, which is literally like, okay, it's 60 card constructed. You can have, you can use any cards that aren't banned. And there's a couple that I think you can only have one of, and I believe Black Lotus is one that you can only have one of. Or, again, I think technically it is legal in, like, Commander, which is similarly any card that's not banned, except in Commander you're only allowed to have one of each card anyway. So it's something of a moot point. But, like, the version that most people would play, right? People would probably be playing, like, unless they have thousands and thousands of dollars to spend on a deck anyway, and you can make a Legacy deck that doesn't use it anyway, right? At this point, the value is not is due to the scarcity rather than, like, you can win against a deck that has Black Lotus even if you don't, right? It's not But what most people are playing, it's just like, it's not legal literally because the rules say, like, for example, Modern is all sets, all cards that have come out in a standard legal set since whatever set it was, 8th edition or whatever, and since Black Lotus hasn't been printed since 2nd edition, I think.
it's not legal there. Or standard, which is literally like that's the rotating one. That's just like it's literally whatever is legal in the past 2 years or so.
Do you like my inventory, by the way?
Yeah, I saw. That's I mean, I think you'll probably be good now.
What I want to know is, what if you just played Pot of Greed?
So obviously, if you literally just played a Yu-Gi-Oh card in a Magic tournament, that would be not that would probably be a disqualification.
Are proxy cards a thing though?
Proxy cards are a thing, and I will tell you that another one of the most expensive cards after Black Lotus is just the standard, like their first crack at having a card draw spell, right? Ancestral Recall is draw 3 cards, and it costs 1 blue mana, and it turns out that that's not the correct price for that ability. So it also, first off, it's on the reserve list, which means that they can't reprint it anyway, but there's a whole other story there. But also it's just like, oh no, that's maybe more powerful than we want to have it. Because the theory was, there was a card in each color in Alpha, right, in the first set, that was, it cost 1 mana, and it did something with 3, right? And the idea was 3 is a magic number. So the most famous one, which is still too good to generally be printed these days. Generally, there's a slight variation, is a little bit more expensive. But would be Lightning Bolt, which was the red one, and it was for 1 red, you do 3 damage to something, right? Or the green one was for 1 green, it was Giant Growth. It still gets printed sometimes. For 1 green, target creature gets +3/+3. White was Healing Salve, and it was like prevent the next 3 damage that would be dealt to you, and that's actually like not, that's generally accepted to like not be good enough. And I don't remember what the black one is, but white but blues was one blue, draw 3 cards, and it's like no, that's you don't get that for one blue mana. That's too good, and so that's why it costs. I'm actually just checking now, $5,000.
Wow. Anyway, we're gonna be doing this for a while.
All right. So this is it. This is
gameplay.
Throwing grenades.
This is
all right.
This is what a boss fight looks like. This is the intended strat, right? This is how you're supposed to play the game.
Sometimes I do wonder. Sometimes you run into a boss fight and you wonder, like, whoa, what did the devs think was going to happen here?
I'll tell you, it's not this.
No, not certainly not this. I mean, I don't think speedruns had been envisioned as a thing when Dark! The black one was Dark Ritual, which also is generally considered too good these days. And it's for one black mana, get 3 black mana. Sorry. Yeah, speedruns had like not been a thing yet, I don't think. So
I think they were like still technically around, but they weren't very popular.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure people have done them.
They were mostly on like message boards.
Yeah, it was not something that devs would have been thinking about.
Oh, definitely not. And like
these days, I think it is something that devs will think about.
I recall last time I ended this fight at Combat Magic level like 17 or something. I don't remember the exact number. Definitely over 10. Also, we started this fight at basically an hour into the run, so let's see if we can finish it before the 3-hour mark.
Yeah. So, looking at... Let's see. December 1993 saw the release of id Software's Doom, which allowed players to record demo files of their playthrough. The feature was picked up by Christina Strunoff-Norman in January 1994 when she launched the LMP Hall of Fame website. So, okay, I guess some would have already. The site was, however, quickly followed up by Doom honorific titles, launched in May 1994 by Strengths Dejano, which introduced the first serious competition between players.
So I'm standing in a different spot than I stood last time because I think I have a slightly better angle from here that's gonna make the... Like, I mean, the aiming is still, like, veering a bit with the bounces from the physics, but, like, I think it's more accurate even so from here than it was on the other side.
Right.
Because it's not bouncing off at the giant red chest. It might still be bouncing off at the small chest, but that's okay.
Yeah, I'm not... And I think, you know...
I'm not seeing nearly as many of them just tumbling into the void, so...
Yeah. I expect that maybe, like, if you actually, like, took the time to figure it out, you might be able to figure out a better location, but this seems... as, you know...
I mean, there's only so many spots you can stand.
Yeah,
really.
exactly. I'll be right back.
This is the game. Man, I just realized if this is still 2 hours, and if the rest of the run is still like half an hour like it was last time, the boss fight might actually be longer than the entire rest of the run. Wowza. Hope that's not the case. Chugging those mana potions. They're blueberry flavored. Bones McRib is the champion this world needs.
Alright. Are you winning, Jorb?
Very slowly.
Bones McRib has increased in intelligence.
Good for them. The champion this world needs.
Bonehead, what if you threw the grenades the dragon?
Say that again?
What if you threw the grenades at the dragon?
I mean, that's basically what I'm doing, yes.
No, I know. That was the joke.
Oh.
It's like, I don't know what the increase in intelligence here is. It's like,
oh, okay.
It's very much in the sort of the vein of like...
Level 6.
Was it? Oh, if you drink this tonic, it will make you smarter. Oh, all right. It costs. I'll give you this tonic for $50. It'll make you smarter. All right, here's $50. Hey, wait a minute. This didn't do anything. You ripped me off. No. See, you're already smarter. You realized you were ripped off.
I'm thinking of one comic. I think by Shen Comics with just no, I'm not smarter. I'm just stupid faster.
I thought that was a Sonic the Hedgehog thing for some reason.
No.
No?
No.
I've definitely seen it done with Sonic.
That's entirely possible.
In fact, I think you reblogged it.
Entirely possible. I'm also thinking of a clip from, I think it was one of the Tales of games, where like, I'm not familiar with the mechanics specifically, but it seems that if you chain particular attacks together, you can your character can be inspired and unlock a new move based on it. And the clip was just, entering a battle, then Demon Fang, and then the proc, damn, I must be a genius, double Demon Fang! Wow, so smart, so clever. I can use this attack twice in a row. Wow.
Twice in a row?
So Jason, of these chests here, which one do you think contains the plot item?
Looking at this carefully, there appears to be one that's sparkling. So I'm gonna guess not that one.
Correct, it is not that one.
Is it the one... Is it the one immediately to your left?
No.
It's the other one.
Yeah, it's the other red one. You'd think it would be the sparkling one, but no, it's not.
They're doing, Indiana Jones movies.
Also, in case you're wondering, the chests are locked until the Dragon Queen is dead.
Yeah, one would figure.
Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing this.
Yeah. It seems like if you could just come in and...
Yeah, if you could just run in, steal this stone, and leave, I 100% would have done that. Can't wait for someone to discover a glitch that lets you do that and revolutionize the run by removing the entire boss fight.
I bet you there is one. Now that you say it, it's like, yeah, no, probably.
If someone can find it, you've got a lot of potential time save. If it takes even if it takes an hour to set up, that's probably still a time save. Also, we're level 7 now. We came in at level 3. I check her HP, but I have to move my mouse to do that, which means I'd have to move my aiming reticule.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
No. It seems to be working out for me alright.
Yeah.
It seems to be mostly accurate. But never mind the fact that my shots veer every time the screen shakes as well, because of the fact that moving my cursor doesn't move with the screen shake, so therefore I'm technically misaligned slightly. But I'm not gonna wait for the screen to not be shaking.
Right. You just gotta keep slightly readjusting.
I mean, the ending position is still the same, so as the starting position, I think. So I just don't move the mouse, and then I just hold down C, and then occasionally let go to press M for a second to drink a potion.
Yeah, you're just about ready to start playing Desert Bus at that point.
Pretty much. This is just Desert Bus. God. So fun fact for the original run of this, I manually pressed C for every single cast until I realized near the end that I could just hold the button down. So I spent like an hour and a half pressing C every time. And it turns out that holding C, I don't know if this is a glitch or what, but it seems like sometimes when I'm holding C, it casts it twice at once. Like, sometimes you might see 2 grenades flying out instead of 1. I don't know why that happens, but if it does more damage, I'll gladly take it. I just remembered I was gonna, swap out the Dragon Queen music to have, a music playlist in the background or something, and I didn't do that. So I hope you like this music. You'll be hearing it in a while.
It is what it is.
I mean, before I did my first run, I loved this music because I remembered this fight being so cool and dramatic. I've increased its strength.
And then it's like, oh, this is going to take forever.
So now I'm sick of this music.
Yeah.
Which is a shame because it's a good track. I just am so tired.
You know how to.
So after this, once we get the stone here, we'll have only towns 7 and 8. And of course, I'm going to go to Town 8 first. I'm going to completely skip going to Town 7 and go back there afterwards. Because the end of the game is actually at Town 7. Normally you walk to Town 7 and then you run up to Town 8 and then head back. But I'm just going to skip 7 entirely. And, well, until after I've done 8. And bonus points, if I take that route, there's a shortcut back to Town 7 as well that doesn't normally exist. It's also normally not relevant either, because in a normal playthrough, you'll have access to the town travel network because you'll be leveling up and you'll be able to meet all the level requirements. So once you're at Town 8, you'll definitely be a high enough level to use the transporter to Town 7.
Right.
Level 8. One more level and we can teleport to Fallraen.
Oh boy.
At level 5 we could teleport to Crystwind. When I was writing this before, I decided to go backwards and realized that was actually better. I was like, is there any way I can get to level 5 once I get to Lang so I can teleport to Crystwind? But then once I realized I could just get to Lang from Eldim, then I realized, oh, this is actually just way better.
Yeah.
As evidenced by the fact that it removed an hour from the run. I mean, that was also admittedly due to not having to go back and talk to all the NPCs as well, but I saved a lot of time backtracking. As well as forward tracking. That's not a word.
I mean, I think it's just tracking.
Yeah, I guess. Can we just acknowledge the absurdity of a magic spell that fires grenades?
I mean, you know, it's a magic spell. At that point, it's kind of like, well, why not?
Yeah. It's called explosive powder, and it's like, it's you can't really see it, but it's throwing, like, you can see in the kind of the spell icon that it's throwing cartoony bombs, like you would see in, like, Looney Tunes. Bonus points, do you know what the file name for the 3D
Pineapple.
model? Yeah, Pineapple. I must have mentioned it to you before.
Yeah.
And so, of course, the wiki guide on spells refers to these as physics pineapples, and I really like that. It doesn't say it anywhere in the game, it's only in the files, but sure, it's a physics pineapple.
Yeah.
So I unfortunately, since I couldn't get live split working with the game, I don't have splits up. But I want to acknowledge that for most of the towns, the split icon is just the town stone. Although for the first one, it's instead the Signet Ring, since we got to bring it back first. But the icon for the Dragon Queen fight is explosive powder, because of course it is.
Yeah.
So you're getting sick of the cast noise yet?
I don't know.
I guess it's kind of easy to tune out.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to tune out.
Oh, there was another double. Oh, that was a double, I think. No?
Maybe.
Sometimes it sounds like a double, but it's not. Like the casting animation, the noise kind of layers over itself during a double.
It's like an animation, but for sound.
Yeah, it plays the sound twice on top of itself. There's actually something similar to that in World of Warcraft. During one of the current like repeatable quests, the world quests. We have like this, you're on a vehicle and you gotta like drop supplies down to like designated locations or whatever. And it has a cooldown and stuff, but if you mash the button fast enough, you can drop 2 at once. And it counts as such. And so that's nice. That's that kind of thing. Some kind of weird input delay. You know, I would bet that it wouldn't work in single player, because this is technically multiplayer, and I know it's just LAN, but there's probably still some kind of server client setup going on, like, code-wise. So I don't know anything about how this is programmed, but I would wager there's something like that going on.
Mm-hmm.
Or at the very least, it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
But I don't know enough about it. Oh, there's a double.
No, I don't know enough about it either, but that definitely sounds like the kind of thing that, you know...
Oh, there's another double.
Not...
Oh, right, mana. How's my potions going? I've drank 3 potions.
Someone's gonna figure out a fucking way to fucking make it a double every time, and then that's gonna...
Oh, then that, yeah, if there was a way to do that, that'd be the straight...
Well, it's like...
I feel like
it's
that's...
gonna be something, like, completely wild, like, you heard about the latest strat in, Tetris, right?
No?
So it turns out, so there's only so quickly that you can tap the same finger over a button to rotate a piece, right?
Multiple fingers?
Essentially, yeah. So like in arcade, or there's like they somehow found a way to emulate. I forget. There was a way it used to work, and then it's like, well, once we got to handheld or something, it didn't work or something. I don't remember. But essentially, yeah, it's you essentially you tap, you keep your finger still over the button, and like tap the back of the controller, rolling one finger, then next finger, next. You know, so like index, middle, you know, like down, and do that repeatedly. And you can actually knock the button into the one finger faster than you could press the finger down on it. And this is like completely changed the game, apparently.
Wowza. Hey, here's a double. I'm wondering, in order to do like reliable doubles though, it almost makes me think you'd need like... I know some online games have a concept called a lag switch.
Yeah.
And that's generally considered cheating.
Ah.
Hey, another double.
Look, if what's his name can reliably break outside of the universe by not pressing A, you can cast...
Oh, pen and coke?
Yeah, you can cast 2 spells at the same time.
The problem is I don't have the time to build up speed for 12 hours.
No.
So no QPUs for me.
Man, imagine just you just like as it's like, oh, all right, fine, I'll just set this here, and you let it build up, and and it's in a completely different game, and you come back, and suddenly you're in Mario, and you're like, what's the fuck?
My next...
Oh, we passed. It's it's like how in Star Trek it was absolutely never established that if you go past warp 10, you turn into a lizard. If you build up speed for 12 hours in any game
you
and
turn
pass
into Mario?
into quantum universes, you turn into Mario.
Man, imagine the combination of the two. They just go warp 10 and they turn into Mario. That would have made a very different episode.
Drive.
That would have made a very different... I'm sorry, I just imagined warp drives running via the power of backwards long jumps.
Where do you think they were? You make the universe do a backwards long jump around you.
You just listen closely to the engine and you just hear quietly like, yeah, 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 yeah.
You just hear, oh Christ, what is it? I briefly had this memorized for some reason. What is it?
I don't know, what is it?
Hello, I'm a Mario. Okie dokie, let's make a pizza pie together. You go get some spaghetti, you get some sausage, I get some sauce. You're gonna put some spaghetti on the sausage and the sausage on the pizza. I'm gonna chase you with the pizza. You're gonna chase me with the pizza, and we're gonna make lasagna. Which is the original line that Charles Martinet gave in his audition that landed him the role as Mario.
My goodness. Wasn't that his first like role as Mario in like Mario Poker or something?
I
think it was like
Mario. According to this article that I pulled up, it says Mario 64, but I wouldn't be surprised if, like, maybe due to release stuff, it was.
You know, I think it was some mini game collection that had like poker in it, and like Mario was voiced by Charles Martinet in that. And then
it wouldn't surprise me, but yeah, allegedly he basically was like trying to figure out what fucking name to do, and he was originally going to do like. Trying to do like a family-friendly version of like Italian gangster, and then had stage fright and flipped into like a weird like, let's be honest, like Italian Elmo.
Yeah.
And completely like just like started saying words that don't make sense, and somehow that landed him the role.
Imagine the alternate universe where Mario sounds like he's in the mafia.
I don't think I feel like
it wouldn't have caught on.
Yeah, I'm curious, like, what would happen to Nintendo. Like, I don't think Mario would have became the icon that he did.
No.
Would another game have filled that role? Would Nintendo just not have been as successful? What do you like?
I want to bet that like Mario would have gone through voice actors like Sonic in that universe.
Yeah, yeah.
I still can't believe Jaleel White was like one of the first voices for Sonic. Like of all people.
Did I see a thing that they like were going to announce his new voice actor today or something?
Oh yeah, people were speculating that it's gonna be a new voice actor, and well, they announced the voice actor, and it's the same one again. They renewed his contract.
I thought he died.
No. Huh. I think it was like.
Why were people saying that? Because for a while people were talking about him getting a new one, so I assume something like major had happened that meant
they periodically just kind of like replace all the voice actors, like they did it before, like when Roger Craig Smith first came in the first place, when they got rid of all the 4Kids actors, except for Mike Pollock, though. I think he re-auditioned for the role, and they just gave it to him again.
I mean, that makes sense.
And I think that's what happened here too. I think Roger Craig Smith re-auditioned for the role of Sonic, and he got it again.
Because I remember some people saying they thought they were just going to have Ben Schwartz do it. And it's like,
I mean, that would make sense, but
it'd be an interesting idea. I don't know if that's actually like financially feasible.
Probably not. It's the same reason why in Steven Universe Sugalite barely shows up.
Yep.
Because she's voiced by Nicki Minaj.
Realistically, Cartoon Network could afford it,
but they don't want to.
They don't want to. Which, I mean, for it just makes me think of, just like how Nintendo, could have afforded to hire more people to work on Pokemon Sword and Shield at more reasonable hours and potentially produce a better game, and instead they hired Post Malone and Katy Perry to make music. It's just like...
And Toby Fox.
Okay, well, to be fair, that actually makes sense. He does music for video games, and they hired him to do music in a video game, and as popular as he is, I imagine he does not have quite as high an asking price.
Yeah. I just think it's a shame because it's like they got Toby Fox in there, they got Sungwon Cho in there. Like, come on, man.
Again, you know what? If there's ever an opportunity to get Sword and Shield, including the DLC, for the price of the base game, I think then I think it's worth it. But it's like, no, if you're gonna be picky with it or you want to protest it, no issue there. Again, my biggest complaint with it, honestly, is just like, this is the plot of a sports anime, and that's like not what I want from a Pokemon game.
And it's like, I understand like defanging the rivals and stuff over time, but like, Team Yell? Really?
Team Yell isn't even the villain.
Yeah, but they
Team Skull
Skull
worked
wasn't the villain.
really
It was like the
well
Aether
as a
Foundation.
defang villain.
Yeah.
Right? But they actually did, like, they were, like, Team Yell are not the antagonists of the game, because the game doesn't have an antagonist, really.
Yeah.
Like, Team Yell shows up and they're literally just, like, one of your rivals' overexcited fans.
Yeah, it's like, come on, guys.
They don't do anything. They don't do anything in the plot other than sometimes show up at challenges. They have no meaningful, like, if it's like, oh, they were trying to help Marnie and they ended up doing something that accidentally caused a bigger problem or something, then cool, that might be interesting. That doesn't happen.
Also, we've hit level 11 in my combat magic. We're in the double digits now.
Sweet.
Also, I checked a couple minutes ago, and it's lost 2,000 HP and has about 5,000 left.
The plot outside of, like, some character stuff that, like, some of it works and some of it doesn't, Sword and Shield, is literally one character saying, this thing happened a long time ago. I'll tell you more about it later. And then the next town being like, so anyway, some more information about this thing that happened a long time ago. I'm still trying to piece it together. And then the next town, alright, here's some more. And like, nothing is presently occurring to cause progress other than that they divided up telling you the story about what happened a long time ago over multiple towns. Right? There's no reason to give a drip feed of it like that. Meanwhile, fucking, what's his name? Literally just being like, oh yeah, no, I have, like, you know, apart from being a businessman and thus obviously being evil, I have nothing that actually indicates I'm going to then, like, after the last gym, be like, oh, by the way, I decided to end the world today.
So he's like the opposite of Lysander, then.
No, like, I think he had, like, one conversation where he, like, makes some comment about, like, I think we should do something about the energy crisis now, and someone else is like, nah, why don't you focus on something else for now, and we can talk about it later. And then at the end, like, he's literally like, well, I've decided to end humanity because... it's like, I don't even fucking, like, to solve, like, he's like, I'm gonna end humanity to solve the energy crisis I presumably caused because I run all the fucking factories. Like, it doesn't, it's like, it comes out of, like, this guy, he's obvious, like, he's written, like, this man is obviously an antagonist in that he's kind of, like, sleazy and too affable. But he doesn't, like, the motivation for doing this, it's not, it's literally like, we are going to tell you about, there was this thing that happened a long time ago, where there was a day where, like, the sun didn't shine, and then a hero showed up with a legendary Pokemon and stopped it. And it takes 5 conversations with Sonia to get that much information. Literally, not because you're doing anything to uncover more. Literally, she's off doing the interesting stuff, and every time you come to a new town to face the gym, she's like, oh, here's what I found out. And it's like, it doesn't work. The actual focus is, like, the guy who tries to end the world, like, is, like, a complete asshole to the guy he sponsored for the gym challenge, right? And, like, that's, like, probably the most, like, the story as far as it goes, like, there's not, like, yeah, at the end, oh, the commissioner brings about, you know, tries to bring about the end times, and you and your rival reenact the story that you have just been arduously told over and over, and not had any, like, other than that you're playing the game and you know that it's going to come up. Like, there's nothing up until it happens of, like, this is going to happen again or anything. And it's just like, it's not, so the focus is like, okay, you're doing a gym challenge, and you have one rival whose entire character is his brother is the champion, and he has a serious, like,
direction.
Like, he's like, he had, like, to the credit, although it is not as well written as it could be, Hop's character of like, he legitimately thinks, oh, my brother's the champion, I'm gonna be the next champion, and then like losing to you, and not being as good as the player character, not living up to his brother, and like having like sort of overcoming something of an inferiority complex around that. Like he has like a serious hero complex for his brother, and kind of then like does have an arc of like being okay with not being the champion and all that, you know, and you know, kudos to that. It works pretty well. And then you do have an asshole rival in to Sword and Shield's credit. You do have a complete asshole for a rival as well, who is like, I was picked by the commissioner, and I'm clearly because again in Sword and Shield you have to be like sponsored by someone to be part of the gym show.
That's so dumb.
Like,
also,
I think it's supposed to be a reference to something that happens with like how sports leagues work in England. I don't fucking know, but like, yeah. So he's like, I was picked by the commissioner to be part of this, so I'm clearly better than you. And he's like a complete asshole to you. It's like, I don't even need to waste the time with you. But he like very, very obviously actually he's like obsessed with that the commissioner sees his value, and he's the best because he's doing this he won't let the commissioner down. He's doing all it, and the commissioner doesn't even fucking remember his name.
Oof.
Right? Like that, like more so than I decided to bring about an elder god to end the world. Like that's like his villain thing. Is like, oh, you're this guy was an orphan. You gave him this purpose in life. Like, hey, I think you're pretty neat. And he adopted you as a father figure, and you didn't even clock that that had an impact on him, and don't. It's like, that's like actually like, okay, no, there's some good like character stuff in it. But it's like, you know, it's not enough. It's give me it again for like outside, like, and that's the closest thing you get to actual progression, other than again like throughout the gym battles, like, hey, a thing happened, and then thing is happening with no progression to it.
I just remembering Jello Apocalypse's Let's Make a Pokemon Game video of just the part where he's like, I would suggest hiring a writer.
I absolutely, and like, you know, I mean, Black and White I think had actually good writing. X and Y's writing was not as good in my opinion, but had some pretty good stuff, and you know,
I mean, Lysander is obviously evil.
Well, yes, but so is...
in like a JRPG villain way.
Well, yeah, but like also it's like, you know, you don't have to have it not like... I don't know, Giovanni's pretty obviously evil too, right?
Yeah.
Like, this is not...
I like, honestly, like I mean, personally, I was never much of a Gen 1 fan because I got in like Gens 3 and 4, but like, you have to admit...
are Archie and Maxie particularly subtle in that, these are the villains?
No, it's like, what I was about to say is, like, you have to admit, like, as far as a Pokemon villain is concerned, Team Rocket is like one of the best, like, villains theming-wise, because it's like, you know, as the player, you want to, you know, be nice to Pokemon and you know, be friends with them. And Team Rocket wants to be mean to Pokemon and exploit them for profit. Like, they're your spiritual antithesis. They're bad guys and they're jerks and you don't like them. They're the perfect villain for Pokemon. And instead now it's like, oh, this world is imperfect. I'm going to make a new world. Like, what does that have to do with Pokemon? Like, no, it's like Team Rocket. They're bad guys who do bad things. That's all you need. They're jerks.
I think one of the reasons that like Team Skull worked really well was like, they're jerks, but they're like not good at it.
Yeah, they're like,
and they're just like,
they're lovable.
They're not even like bad people, right? They're just severely disenfranchised.
Yeah.
Like
I just remember.
You're like, oh,
I remember this.
Oh, buddy.
I just thinking about the Team Skull grunts like dancing menacingly at like a street.
Yeah, trying to steal. Yeah, trying to steal the bus stop.
Yeah.
Trying and failing to steal a bus stop. But no, exactly. Like that's so great. It's like why do you want to do that? And it's like they like have a pretty. It's like oh we flunked out of the trials. We don't. We are not.
It's like Team Skull is actually sympathetic.
Yeah, like a sympathy. Like
I like that.
And I think I think that I think that works really well. I think Team Plasma works pretty well for some complicated reasons. Well, I don't think Team Plasma would work nearly as well if we did not have N as a character. Like just having them be like they're PETA, except oh surprise, no, they're actually they want to trick everyone else into giving up their Pokemon, so they only have Pokemon is like not. It's like, oh, okay, that's kind of cool, but it doesn't work well unless you also have N as a character, I think.
I think it was interesting as well in like Black and White 2. I think there was like 2 Team Plasmas, right? There was like N's Team.
Yeah, there was because then you had a bunch who legitimately were like, wait, I thought we were doing this.
Yeah, I was like, hang on a second, was I just being used?
Which, wow, if only people being used by villainous organizations would realize that in real life, huh?
Yeah.
Anyway,
there was like N's Team Plasma, which is the actual people following like N's ideals and beliefs, and then there was Gets' Team Plasma, which is like the loyalists, which were like, yeah, we're dropping the pretenses.
Yeah, and so like I think that works, and I think that, and Team Rocket works for the reasons that you said. And that's less of a narrative thing and just more like yes, that is in terms of like sheer conflict, like yes, that is And then so what are the teams that we have not said are good? Well,
Team
Magma and Aqua, and Team Galactic and Team Flare.
Yeah.
And it's like because they're each kind of like they are the weakest. Like Cyrus's character for Team Galactic is like yeah okay that's a good villain right but.
Like,
what does it have to do thematically with anything going on in Pokemon other than well, there are Pokemon that can facilitate this villainous plan. So
like, he'd be fine in like a generic JRPG, but as a Pokemon villain, he doesn't really work.
And I guess the argument is well, Pokemon is a JRPG. It's like okay, that's fine, but yeah, it's like it's not. And again, I don't think there's anything wrong with. I don't think Team Galactic. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. It is just like it doesn't quite. It could exist. It is something that could exist outside of Pokemon.
Yeah, and could probably exist better outside of Pokemon.
Yeah, it has existed better.
Yeah, and the same applies to like Archie and Maxie and like Lysander.
Yeah, and so Archie and so okay, so let's go. So then Lysander is like, all right. He's certainly a believable villain. I mean, we've got plenty of fucking Lysanders walking around in, on modern day Earth, and everyone's like, "Hey, maybe we should do something about this person." It's like, no, I'm sure that, there's nothing. What are you talking about? They're a good person. They have lots of money. They must be good. It's like, okay, could you pay attention to what they're actually saying or doing? What? No, that's.
But he made the Holocaster. He must be a good guy.
Yeah, it's like I can never fucking get over how Jeff Bezos is literally Lex Luthor.
Oh,
like
God.
he looks like Lex Luthor. Like how did people not fucking get? Anyway, so it's like okay.
I want to acknowledge.
Lysander is a villain.
Yeah.
And he's very obviously a villain, and he has kind of like, what's supposed to be a sympathetic story, but ultimately does feel a little bit like, this feels disproportionate, Maybe a bit.
I also wish we'd gotten more insight into Malva. Like, the idea of having an Elite Four member who was part of the evil team, but you don't run into them after you've already beaten the evil team is interesting.
Yeah. Like there's like stuff that again maybe it's with Z that
Yeah, we could have. If Malva had showed up earlier in the game, like actually doing stuff with Team Flare, that would have been cool. Then you counter as Elite Four. And he's like,
Yeah.
Because it basically, in a sense, it's almost the Giovanni angle again, except not.
Right. Which I still can't believe. I think it was last year I realized that Giovanni's name is also a gym leader type pun.
Oh yeah, it's because Gio.
Yep. Okay, so again, Lysander's like, okay, you're a villain. You're not quite as fleshed out as, again, just coming off of Black and White and Black and White 2, where we actually did have something that was centered on Pokemon, right? It could only exist in Pokemon, and had very strong character stuff going on. And this is he's a tech bro who wants to end the world because his pet died, I think, right? Something like
I don't even remember that. All I remember is he's like, oh, this world is flawed, the people is flawed, people are flawed.
Right, no, yeah, because the Floette wasn't his, that was AZ. Right, yeah. It's Lysander's just he's no.
Lysander's just eugenics.
I don't think that's quite eugenics, but
He's Cyrus too.
Yeah, and I think Cyrus. And I think the sad thing is we were already saying Cyrus is fine, but not necessarily Pokemon. It's Cyrus but worse.
Yeah.
Not Cyrus. I seem to recall at least being given a sympathetic reason for feeling that the world needed to be remade. And yeah, again, now that I think about it, Lysander, I think was just the Holocaster algorithm says that the world is flawed, so gonna fucking redo. Or I don't fucking know.
I think and it's Cyrus. I think was gonna remake the world into a better one or something.
Yeah.
Lysander just wanted to kill everybody. I don't think he had any intentions of replacing all the people who died.
He had bunkers.
Yeah,
right?
It's he and Team Flare were gonna survive, and then everyone else was gonna die, and then that was just gonna be it.
Which I guess is technically eugenics because he was selecting who would survive.
Yeah.
But really, what it is it's literally
genocide.
Genocide. Which James Bond movie is it? Well,
which James Bond movie had the giant flower laser powered by
not a flower laser, but it was the plan was he had selected people to go up in a space shuttle, and then he was going to activate a giant death laser that would make Earth. It would irradiate Earth's atmosphere and kill everyone on the surface, so that only the people that he had led onto his space shuttle would survive. And then they were going to spend some time on a space station until the radiation cleared, and then repopulate the Earth.
I mean, aside from all the lack of knowledge and stuff and infrastructure all the damage that would do.
Well, yeah, okay.
I also think that the fact that it would really shallow out the gene pool is not good either.
Well, and again, it's one of those uncomfortable. I guess he's a villain, so it's not necessarily uncomfortable. That it's of course he would do this. Yeah, all the people that he picked on the fucking shuttle all look
Never let it be said that these people have good, well thought out ideas, because they don't.
Was that Moonraker? That was Moonraker, right?
I guess that's the whole point is that their ideas are bad.
Yeah. And again, one of the particularly when it's an incredibly rich person saying I'm going to end the world because of all these flaws, and it's have you considered putting your money towards fixing things? But I earned this money, and I want to. You could cure cancer. I don't want to cure cancer. I want to turn people into dinosaurs.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love that. Okay, so we're about 45 minutes into the fight, and I think we're down to 3,000 out of 7,000. So we're definitely making better pace than last time.
All right.
Definitely.
Okay. Yeah. It was Moonraker.
I'm still so surprised that that's not from Dr. McNinja.
No, that's actually Spider-Man, I believe.
Yeah. But it would totally fit in Dr. McNinja. I would 100% believe that was dialogue from it. If someone told me, but it's not. Speaking of the author of Dr. McNinja and comics, shoutouts to Gwenpool.
Gwenpool is like phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like the end of the initial run legitimately like made me cry a lot.
Yeah. And then of course none of her subsequent appearances in other comics ever really like
have been nearly as good. Correct. Which is literally like she said that in her fucking end of her initial series, right? She's like, oh god.
And then there was like a multi-Gwenpool team up, which was like different Gwenpools from under different writers, and they had different personalities and stuff because of it.
No, I'm sorry, it was nerve gas. He was going to launch nerve gas into Earth's atmosphere, so not radiation. But still, it's like he's like literally like. I guess that's the thing, right? Lysander is literally a fucking Bond villain, and it's like, okay, but this is Pokemon, and if the rest of the game had been like a spy movie but with Pokemon, then maybe.
I kind of want that,
but it wasn't. Yeah, well, I mean, you know,
I still want to know.
Like, you know.
What I still want to know is why is it that whenever it's these world-bending villains and stuff, why is it that it's only ever the newbie 10-year-old trainer with remarkable growth who's able to stop them? Like, why can't adults ever do anything?
Because it's a kid's game.
Yeah. It's like, I don't know, why did we get the champion in here? Like, I mean, Cynthia could have stopped Cyrus. Freaking Wallace.
I mean, I think, okay, to Sword and Shield's credit, I believe Leon does try to stop. The thing and can't.
I think Cynthia was even in the Distortion world in Platinum, come to think of it. Why didn't she do anything?
She was busy.
She was right there! We're like, oh no, you should be the one to fight Cyrus. Why?
I think people have basically settled on a Skippy the Force-sensitive droid explanation for that one.
Oh god.
She knew that you, like, she's like, no, I can feel in the Force that it needs to be you that does this.
That seems arbitrary. Why didn't we just team up and just clobber him? He's a bad guy.
I mean, that would be like, that would have been
like,
sweet.
We're saving the universe here. Screw being honorable and stuff. Let's just bring out all 12 of our Pokemon at once and just attack Cyrus directly.
Or even not that. Even just like, yeah, have it be a double battle. That would have been sweet. That'd be cool.
And like,
but so then that leaves Team Aqua and Team Magma. And again, the problem comes to be like, look, a Pokemon facilitates their plan. Technically, it's not unique to Pokemon, and the actual reasoning for why did either of them want that again?
I think it was.
Like, I can think of something that each villain has said for the reason that they are doing their villainy stuff.
I think it was just,
but I can't actually.
I think it was like Team Magma was like expand the land so there's more room for human growth, and Team Aqua was like expand the water so there's more habitat for water Pokemon or something.
Right, but like, both of those are conclusions, right? You had to come to the conclusion that was a desirable outcome.
And they also clearly hadn't thought it through, because I remember there was that one series of Pokemon videos that were like official that showed like different aspects of the various games from alternate angles, and then I think in some cases it was what if the protagonist never showed up. And I think it was a case of, like, Archie managing to successfully awaken Primal Kyogre without any interference.
I don't remember that being an official thing, but it's, I believe it. And also just like we had in, Sun and Moon.
Yeah.
We had
I don't remember what it was called. It was definitely an official thing. I don't remember what it was called. But it was like, it was like he managed to awaken Primal Kyogre. And it's like, all right, we'll go up to the surface. Like, how are things on the surface? Things are bad out here. The whole world is going to be sunk to the bottom of the ocean.
Like, I remember a comic like that was like a web comic of like, what do you think it was going to be? Ocean Friends. Like,
Yeah,
like,
no.
oh, you never
It's
played
like
the...
I think like even like he like their sub like reaches the surface and Kyogre is like
I vaguely recall this now, like now that we're talking about it, but I can't. What was the context of?
I don't remember. It was a series of some kind of series of Pokemon shorts. Pokemon. I really was like, Kyogre, listen to my commands, and then Kyogre immediately turns and attacks the sub, and it like freeze frames on Kyogre like about to eat the sub.
Yeah, I'm trying to. I bet you this. What was the context for these?
I don't remember. It was just there was a series of. Oh, it was actually called Pokemon Generations. I thought that was wrong for some reason.
Right. Pokemon Generations. What was the one?
That one was like.
Wait, what? Okay, I remember Pokemon Generations. I don't remember that being what Pokemon Generations was.
That was Pokemon Generations episode 8.
Right. Okay. No. Now I remember now. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, it's like.
And that was like it was very clearly like bad timeline where the protagonist didn't show up to stop, Primal Kyogre. So, the world presumably ends.
Yeah, and then they get pulled to be part of Team Rainbow Rocket.
No, because like it was Oras Archie.
Oh right, yeah.
With Primal Kyogre.
It's like,
I guess with regular Kyogre it was sufficiently manageable.
Which again, it obviously wasn't though, is the thing,
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like.
I think there was a real missed opportunity with Rainbow Rocket to have multiple copies of the same character.
That would have been interesting.
Imagine you do a double. Imagine a double battle.
And that's the thing, though.
No,
But,
listen. Imagine a double battle between Oras Archie and like Emerald Archie, for example.
No, that would be sweet. I also just like the idea of like them not getting along.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, oh god, Mirror Universe me sucked. It's like, I'm not Mirror Universe you. You're Mirror Universe me. Asshole.
And then someone else is like, you're the same, shut up!
Like, I would never do something like that. You literally did! That's why you're here! Oh god, no,
Well, they both go on
to
they simultaneously go onto a rant of how they're nothing like the other one, and they say the exact same sentences.
Yeah. Like, there could have been a bunch of... And it's just like, we had with Delta episode and episode RR, we had all this really, like, cool lore stuff, big, connecting things together stuff, and then to go to Sword and Shield being a sports anime. It's just like, I don't care who's the champion. That's literally the least interesting thing in these games. Holy shit.
But you gotta remember,
Give
Leon
me
has
more
a bad...
about the multiverse.
But remember, Leon has a bad sense of direction. It's very important you know that.
What if, okay, but hang on. We literally just had Sun and Moon, and then 2 games that were like Sun and Moon, but a slightly different dimension, and introduced a dimension where, the Ultra Beast stuff. Like, hang on, you can't tell me that it's a step up from traveling through a wormhole and exiting it immediately. You have traveled, 10 million light years from home and encountering an Ultra Beast to hey, go to this soccer field and make a really big Pikachu.
Dude, hey, we have Dynamax now. That's so interesting and fun and exciting.
It's the least interesting part of everything they have attempted before.
You know what I want to know is, in the Gen 4 remakes, in Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, or whichever, this is Shine Down Brilliant Pearl.
Yeah.
I wonder if they're gonna have like any of the stuff like, you know, Dynamax or Z moves or Megas. I hope they have Megas. I want Cynthia to have a Mega Garchomp, please.
I don't know. Again, like already the choice to do it in like
Oras. In Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire.
Or no, in I was gonna say to do the Diamond and Pearl remakes in like 2.5D chibi is like a weird choice in my opinion. On one hand, I get them not wanting to do the engine from Sword and Shield.
I mean, it's a more faithful recreation of the original sprite graphics. Like that's what the graphics actually looked like, and they've shown that like in battles and stuff, the trainers have like full proportioned.
Yeah, I guess I would have liked it to be something akin to, you know, 4S. In terms of like style of like, yeah, Ruby and Sapphire were also a top-down sprite thing, and we rendered it into a 3D thing, actually pretty damn well.
Yeah. To be fair, also, the Diamond and Pearl remakes are by a different company.
Yeah, which is like, okay.
They're probably
again, I don't have a ton of like nostalgia. I have a ton of nostalgia for Sinnoh, so I don't like care one way or another that much. But I feel like if I were one of the people who's like, we're finally gonna get Sinnoh remakes, and I saw that it was done like that, whereas, you know, Hoenn got the style that Oris was, I would personally feel cheated.
To be fair, Oris also was stuff like missing a bunch of the stuff from Emerald outside of the Delta episode and other.
I guess, but it had enough new stuff that was like, I don't know, it's like. I guess that's the thing. I'm a little worried that this really comes down to like, all right, you want a faithful recreation, we're going to do that, and we're not going to have any of the cool new stuff. It's like, give me an entire game that is just stuff like Delta episode, please.
I remember before the announcement, I had been so worried that like, because when they obviously I played Emerald out of the Hoenn games. And so I was so disappointed that Oras didn't have the Emerald stuff. And then I was so worried that in Gen 4 remakes, they'd be like, okay, we've heard your concerns, we're going to do a Platinum remake instead. Because, like, I played Pearl. And I'd be like, oh no! Because I wanted Pearl, not Platinum. I don't care if it's objectively worse. It's someone that's nostalgic for me.
Stuff, though.
Yeah. Wouldn't it be hilarious? Wouldn't it be hilarious if the Diamond and Pearl games had the full national decks? Like in Sword and Shield didn't?
I feel like the same logistical problems would apply. In fact, they apply a second time now because it's yet another fucking, like, their reason for not having, the given reason, which I don't think is actually the full reason, but like the official reason is, look, we couldn't make, like, doing that many models is not...
Just port them forward from X and Y. It's what you probably did in Sun and Moon already.
Well, so that is absolutely what they did. And this is why I think there is clearly another reason. Is because it is absolutely true that they totally said when they started using 3D models in X and Y that it was going to mean that they could move things forward easier. And it's like, oh, well, we moved to the Switch, so we can't do it. And it's like, okay, looking at the code, the fact of the matter is, people saying that they did actually... Because, the initial thing was, oh, these aren't new models. They're just doing this to sell DLC, and actually they are just porting the old models over. And I believe there's been sufficient evidence now to say, like, they might have used some of the same code, but no, these are new models, right? They did...
Like
they did actually do that,
okay. But did they need to? They could have just touched up the old models.
I guarantee you the answer is no, they did not need to. And for that matter, if they did need to, then they could have afforded to hire enough people.
Right, like it's the
we
most
have a team of this many people. We can only make this many models. If you want all the Pokemon, you'd have to wait 10 years between a game.
It's like,
and it's just like,
it's the most successful franchise in the entire world. You could do whatever you want. You could never make a mainline Pokemon game again. You could just do spin-offs forever, do a different genre every time,
I mean,
like a Sonic the Hedgehog.
I personally would prefer a game that does not necessarily have every Pokemon in it coming out a little bit more frequently than you literally have to wait a decade between each one because we have not like, and that's a false dichotomy. Those are not actually the choices because again, they could have like. It's not that the Switch can't support it. It's literally like
they didn't want
we did not hire enough people to make these models.
Yeah. Honestly, it's probably related to the similar situation of how these days it's like companies are doing anything they can to get new workers for their jobs, except for paying them more.
Yeah, exactly. And Japan, like people talk about, like Japan is worse for that, right?
Oof.
Like comedically so. Like it's people get a pretty skewed view of. Whoa! What just happened?
He decided he wanted to move.
Huh?
Am I safe here?
Animate skeleton. Like the thing is, like. People who watch anime, I think, probably have a pretty fucking skewed view of what Japan's politics are like.
Yeah, I remember I saw someone talking about the utterly bizarre marketing crossover that was Sonic Forces and Hooters.
Yeah, I saw it. It's like, nah. Okay, listen. Here's the deal.
And there was like...
You know the meme, I'm going to level with you, Prime Minister Shinzo Abe, I don't think this is going to help Japan's declining birth rate.
Yeah.
You know the actual fucking reason, like, that all the studies show is because no one has fucking time to raise kids because there's a tremendous, like, it's just like, all work is crunch. Work culture, like, it's like,
man,
however bad you think it is here. And maybe the wages are better, but, like, just, like,
the
on dimensions of crunch and company loyalty and everything are just like so through the roof that like you have work and then there's a reason you see an anime like salarymen like all going to the bar and drinking afterward is because like they don't work is such a predominant thing that they have these means of alleviating what is actually a tremendously unhealthy amount of stress that they're being put on.
That's probably why the freaking old Flash game Karoshi Man was made, which was just you play a Japanese salaryman and your goal in every level is to kill yourself. So. Yeah,
no, absolutely. Like it's like however like and that's just one of those things that I am an American. Maybe I am completely fucking wrong on this. But from as many sources as I can see, as much actual like research of it, like it seems pretty clear like nah, that's like corporate, there's a reason that a lot of, it's like, it's just, no, that's how, you think of anything toxic about, like, work environments and pressure to, like, be a service to the company and everything, and just crank it up to 11, and that's.
I was just thinking, you just did the thing with, like, the not knowing the whole thing with the Japanese politics thing, and I was thinking the whole thing I mentioned with Sonic Forces and Hooters and talking about how strange that was.
Yeah.
And some anon sends in like, oh well, the culture in Japan is different. They've got all the more lax like stuff like. You realize that like brothels and all that stuff exists in the U.S. too, right? Like get a source on Japanese culture that isn't hentai.
Yeah. No. Exactly. I saw that absolutely. Like that's exactly it, right? Like nah, what you like. Japan's actually really fucking right-wing, dude.
Jeez.
There's, I think there's a trend lately to fix some of that stuff up, but really, like, they're basically stuck in they're stuck, in terms of a lot of things, they're kind of stuck in, like, the 50s. Not stuck in the 50s. They are in a space similar to where America was in the 50s, but with with the added issues of everything that has happened with international corporate stuff since added on.
Sorry, I just checked the dragon's health, and she's down to like 670.
All right.
We are
so does that mean we're like almost done?
Yeah, we are way ahead of schedule. I was expecting it to be like an hour and a half for the fight, even like with the faster speed. We're like an hour and 5 minutes into the fight.
Sweet.
And we're almost done. So this has almost cut the boss fight time from last time in half, just from standing in a better spot. That is wild.
So yeah, it's like.
Positioning
again, I don't want to act like I'm actually like some fucking expert on this, but it is like, it's.
Yeah. No, we are not Japanese. We have never lived in Japan. I assume.
I was there once for a week. I want to go back, but that's not. There was literally like a fucking episode of Boruto that literally involved like a game developer dealing with crunch, right? Like, this is not something that, like, even if you do get your information about Japanese society solely from anime, you can't, it's not, it's like...
yeah, remember that good anime series about Boruto's dad? I
saw it was over a year ago now. The Naruto/Boruto trading cards. And it's like, oh, you picked a bad naming scheme for your animes here. He should have picked some non-character specific name so that you wouldn't have to like do that when you change the main character. Like, because what happens when we then have Boruto's kid? Like, all right, yeah, the Naruto Boruto
Shippuden.
Well, like adding Shippuden at least works because then it's like okay, but like a third like add more full names to the thing.
Zaruto.
Like, oh god, just like it kind of like
381.
At least for all the not I don't want to give Harry Potter credit for anything at this point.
Oh, it doesn't deserve any credit.
But at least when they started trying to do other things, they stopped calling it. They didn't start calling it like Harry Potter Fantastic Beasts. They tried to just rebrand it to be Wizarding World, right? Like they tried to give it a non-sub-franchise specific name to apply to everything, so that they would not be stuck slapping 12 different logos on everything.
Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, Apollo Justice.
Yeah, it's like no, you can have a name that covers. Like imagine if the Avengers had to fucking be marketed as Iron Man and Captain America and the Hulk and Thor. Like, give us something that covers it all. You can come up with a name for the continuity that Naruto and Boruto exist in that is not, Naruto and Boruto.
I think they should just call the series Ninja Info Cards and be done with it. They may not look like much, my Ninja Info Cards. Please tell me you've seen that video.
I believe so, but not like recently enough to have it like stored in my short-term memory.
With my Ninja Info Cards. With my Ninja Info Cards. Almost there. 98 health left. Out of 7,000.
Not bad.
Yep, that's half as long as I expected it to take. We're like 2 hours into the run, and like last time, the rest of the run took like half an hour, so...
Alright, next time we try to get this done in less time than it takes to get to the end credits of In the Name of the King, a Dungeon Siege Cell.
That's the real sub time goal, is you gotta be faster than the movie.
Which has nothing to do with it. But
of course.
Like,
yeah. If anything, the movie's based on the single-player campaign, allegedly.
No, it's not, though. Right? It's not.
Hence, allegedly.
Yeah.
Hey, Quillrabe Stone. Why? Whoops, I tabbed out of the game. I was so excited. Off I go. We no longer need to do any combat.
Oh, boy.
We are now level 17. We're a wizard. Good job, Bones McRib. Okay, so we head right to the town of Hiroth. Let's go left.
Alright.
Because following instructions is for losers.
A very compelling thing that's just an interesting intersection of the work and, like, again, actually super not progressive gender role stuff in Japan of like, okay, listen, here's how it works. Either gender can work, right, and be a salary person that works constantly and is, you know, a character in Egretsuko, basically. Or women can be a mother. There is no support for someone to be able to do both. And if a woman is a spouse to a salary person, generally what will end up happening, apparently, is something actually quite similar to, I guess Vikings fucking did this, I don't fucking know. The woman is actually in charge of the finances, right? The guy will go and do work, but the house finances will be up to it, and they'll like give the salary man an allowance. It's like, all right, that's not inherently like a terrible way to do it, but the reason that this was like,
interjecting for a second, this is a shortcut back to Town 7. Never mind that we headed in the opposite direction from Town 7 and are now heading to Town 8.
No, you know how it is.
Continue.
This was entirely based on, and this was someone who had lived in Japan for some time, talking about like, listen, that's how it, like, that's not, I'm not saying that's always how it is, but like apparently that is a fairly common thing where like if there is a couple and the guy works, then one of the things that the other partner, not necessarily a woman, I'm sorry, that was heteronormative of me to say that, but you know, again, anyway, it's to be in charge of the money and give them allowance. And so generally they'll be able to actually like afford like they work all day, you know, every day, and then are given an allowance out of what they make on that. And so they need to be able to get the most bang for the buck, and that's why you have the Yakuza games. Which is, it was like, wow, actually no, that totally scans. So
just to pause for a moment, can we acknowledge those sick dodges I just did?
No, I mean it's you know, when you're a skeleton, I feel like dodging, you know, you're very aerodynamic. I don't know if that's true. Would a skeleton be aerodynamic? Like, you can have air go through you, but like, does that actually, I don't know, are the bones arranged in a way that might actually cause more resistance somehow?
I don't fucking know. I'm not a aerodynamics expert.
Where's Michael?
Michael, we need physics answers.
Bones McRib is deceased.
Yes. Who could have foreseen it?
That's what we call nominative determinism.
Like every character in My Little Pony.
Yeah. I still can't get over the fucking Miku Hatsune in My Little Pony thing. It's like, that's clearly in the Friendship is Magic style. I thought they were like on to the next thing now.
Miku's just been around for a while.
Miku has been around for like at least 15 years now. Miku Hatsune came out while I was at boarding school, so that was like 2006 or 7.
Anyway, check out this great terrain here. This is the Endless Dunes.
Did something forget to load in?
No, it's just like this. The Endless Dunes are actually huge. There's almost no landmarks. And there's no enemies.
Is there a crystal skull hidden somewhere in them?
No, but there is a secret dungeon you can find called the Lost Pyramid.
Oh, neat.
And it leads you to a secret area that's the highest level stuff in the game.
Mm.
In any campaign.
Oh, a tree!
A tree! Wowzer!
Wait, is this actually here or is it a mirage?
Loader. Hey, look, tents. The town of Grescal. And then just over here should be the ancient ruins.
You go to your therapist and you say, "Oh, doctor, I've been having these really weird, vivid dreams. In one of them, I'm a teepee, and in the other one, I'm a wigwam." And my therapist looks at me and says, "Well, it sounds like you're too tense."
Yes, that joke is in World of Warcraft, actually.
Yeah. I don't think that's where it's originally from.
No, definitely not. But it's in it.
Yeah. I mean, everything's in World of Warcraft at this point.
Except good game design. Hey!
Yeah, there's that.
Anyway, we're almost done. We just need to get one more town stone, which is just kind of basically down here. And then we just take it to the circle with all the rest of them.
Cool. Then what happens?
Then we go get a different stone, put it in our spot, and then we win.
Oh.
There's not much left.
None of the town elders predicted that that's what would happen.
No.
No one. It never occurred to any of them that what would happen when you bring the stones together is you need to go find another stone.
No, they all have their own theory, and they were all wrong. They all thought something good would happen. In fact, it released a bunch of demons.
Well, from a certain point of view.
I think the people of Grescal literally just thought that it would just release access to water supplies because they're so desperate they needed to believe that.
Mm.
I was like, oh, well, it'll have their secret teleport network to see where they went, all these precursors went, and others will be like other things, but or everyone could use the fast travel network. And
it sounds like they all thought that something would be revealed.
Yeah, they all thought something good would happen.
I think this really comes down to, listen, if you actually look at the word apocalypse.
Yeah.
And if you didn't know.
Oh, I know.
Right? If you didn't know it was a bad thing. No, I'm sure you know. But I'm like, if someone was literally translating something, right, and did not know that revelation or apocalypse meant the end of the world, right? It's like, bring these things together and there will be a great revelation, and you didn't know, you would think that's a good thing, right? It's like, oh, you mistranslated. Not revelation like the normal word. No. This was a more appropriate translation would be bring these together, and it's the apocalypse. It's like, oh, that's worse.
I think in this case it's not even a case of translation so much as it is
I'm sure it's just they're wrong.
I think they were just guessing what would happen, really.
What did I Google that Google now under suggested questions is Luigi dead? Oh right, Mario audition.
Bones McRib has been killed.
For them.
I wonder if we're gonna make sub 230. That'd be cool.
If we do sub 230, I think we've already beat the time for Dungeon Siege 1.
What's the runtime in the name?
I believe it's 2. I think it's 2 hours 36 minutes.
Oh man, we might beat that.
Right, because that was my idea when you said, it's like, oh, what if we just have it playing in the corner? I'm like, oh, there's no way, because you said before it was 4 hours. I'm like, oh, it's not going to be under 2. It's not going to be under 2 hours and 36 minutes. Okay, what if we add in the second one? An hour and 36 minutes? Oh, okay, well, that's still a little. It's like, oh no, actually, we totally.
The other reason for not doing that is it would probably give the video a copyright strike.
Yeah, even if it's like in the corner and muted, maybe.
Yeah. It's
Be
not
funny though.
It's a funny idea, but it's not worth the copyright claim.
True.
Besides, that would involve like looking at the footage of Return in the Name of the King. You know?
No, that's true. Just, because it's so bad, it seemed like a funny way to time it. You Google Mario audition. People also ask, is Luigi dead? Who is Bowser Jr.'s mom? Does Mario have a son? Did Luigi die in Luigi's Mansion? And does Mario ever get married?
And now I'm going to use the map to navigate right back the way we came.
Nifty. Is Mario... Not going to read that out loud.
Does Mario is gay?
Close.
The rumor come out.
What was the thing I retweeted that was like the Lambda Cube? Yeah, I know it.
Oh, that was the one with like Wario and Waluigi and Ario and Luigi.
Yeah.
I liked that. I don't understand it, but I like it.
It generally, like, I'm not actually familiar with what the Lambda Cube, I assume it's some particle physics thing. But, like, the concept of, like, Waluigi existing actually on, like, a different axis than Wario in terms of, like, and I guess the thing is, the cube actually does have them as being the same thing, but like there is this sense of like, wait a minute, Waluigi is not
Waluigi isn't Wario's brother. They're not related.
Right. No, it's like it does not work quite as the joke makes it out to be. I think there is a way to construct it that does work. Like, the actual implication, right, if you were to actually do it, I feel like what you need to do, or I guess maybe it solves it by introducing Ario and Luigi. But it's like...
Who apparently have a greater pureness level than Mario and Luigi.
In addition, so you have... So, Wario is not to Mario as Waluigi is to Luigi, right? Because the existence of a Waluigi implies the existence of a Mario, not a Wario. Likewise, the existence of a Wario does not imply the existence of a Waluigi. It implies the existence of a... I don't know, is there a letter that looks like an L upside down? Right?
Or a Waluigi. There's also a Waluigi.
Or a Luigi. Yeah.
Luigi.
So there's this extra. So again, the existence of a Wario implies the existence of a Luigi, not the existence of a Waluigi. The existence of a Waluigi does not imply the existence of a Wario. It implies the existence of a Mario. So there is this like extra axis to it.
I remember seeing someone's concept of, like, a WoW version of Bowser being called Wowzer, and it being like super like peppy and cheerful, and I really liked that.
Yeah.
I think it was like glasses and a sweater vest.
And again, like, the actual answer is Waluigi literally exists so that Wario would have a fucking tennis
yeah.
partner. Like,
he's just some guy that showed up one day.
We're not really sure where he came from.
Shoutouts to that like render of him that dropped recently, though. You know the one? There was a new Waluigi render recently. I think he's got like the rose between his teeth, and he's like kind of like jutting his hips out.
Oh yeah.
All right, here we are. Final destination. Time to drop down all the stones.
No items.
We also still have half an inventory full of mana potions. That's kind of funny. Okay, Heroth Stone is already here. Fallraen Stone. Meren Stone. Crystwind Stone. Quillrabe Stone, which we worked very hard for. Eldem Stone. Lang Stone, which we didn't work hard for at all. And Grescal Stone. And now bad things are happening. But we're gonna run over here.
Just ignore the bad things. Run over there.
Don't worry about it. Listen, just, you know, the sky's turning red, but that's fine.
Oh boy, it's Crisis.
Here, give me this. Okay. I need that. I need this final plot coupon. So now we're gonna go down into this dungeon here. There's gonna be like 3 rooms, and then we drop the 10 stone that we just got on a pedestal, and then at that moment that we drop it, the quest in the quest log is marked as complete, and so that's...
And that will be the end.
That'll be the end of the run, yeah.
Then I have to go find something else to do.
Yeah. Although, I'm still going to run back to the NPC afterwards, just in case the method of timing it changes in the future.
Mm-hmm. Surely now that we know...
In the journal afterwards, when you normally do the quest, it says to return to the guy, though. We don't actually have the quest, which is kind of funny.
Mm.
But you know, it's ultimately the same, like, ending the game action. So
yeah,
it's any percent. It's fine. This isn't quest completion percent. This is any percent.
Do speedrunners know how numbers work?
Yes, but only in the wrong ways.
They know how they function, they just don't know how they work.
Alright, so about 40 seconds until the end of the run. We are going to be sub 230.
Let me double check that that's correct. And again, my idea was by the time the credits roll, which I suppose is actually going to be less. But
so this is where I got to drop the thing. Now the tricky part is I have to open my can't open my inventory while dead. So once I'm alive, I have to open my inventory and then drag it out of my inventory before I die. I don't remember where it is in my inventory. I think it's around here. I probably should have checked.
This has a different running time for... This says...
And time.
Alright,
2
how many minutes
hours 29.
Alright, well, so Wikipedia lists the length for the first one as actually only being 2 hours and 7 minutes.
Oh.
But I could have sworn I saw that it was 2 hours and 36 minutes.
Maybe there's different cuts of the movie.
Why, though? Why would you do that? Yeah,
why
if
would
you
you make
Google...
the movie in the first place?
Wait, okay, am I doing some weird... Okay. 2 hours and 36 minutes is not the same as 127 minutes, right? 127 minutes is 2 hours and 7 minutes.
127 would be 2 hours and 7 minutes, yes.
Right. Wikipedia says that In the Name of a King, A Dungeon Siege Tale is 127 minutes. But if you Google Dungeon Siege movie runtime, it says it's cited on IMDb, I think, as 2 hours and 36 minutes.
That's
so
weird.
I'm not sure what's up with that.
Anyway, I think it's safe to say that I absolutely smashed my previous record.
Yeah, like, I mean, practically in half, right?
Yeah, just almost. It was like 4 hours 48 before, and now it's 2 minutes 27. 29 even. Oh,
yeah, 27 you probably got from the...
Alright. I apparently spoke to him without even opening
the
dialogue window.
I found a fourth runtime listed. Rotten Tomatoes has it listed as 2 hours and 4 minutes. What's the truth, internet? I'm not watching it to find out. Okay, the version on Amazon is listed as, like, the version available on Amazon is listed as 2 hours and 7 minutes. So that may be the... Christ, it had John Rhys Davies in it too? How did they afford these people?
Well, yeah, we finished...
Ron Perlman?
Well,
why?
So, we finished the run. We got the Utraean helm as well for in case they time by talking to this guy. The dialogue window didn't pop up, weirdly enough, but we dropped the quest reward item, so take that as you will, I guess. But I still think I still am running under the assumption that time ends upon dropping the 10 stone, because that causes the quest to be flagged
I'm finding
as complete.
2 hours and 7 minutes in far more locations. So if you actually wanted to beat the movie time, that would be the.
But yeah,
I don't think we are.
Given that the Utraean Circle quest is flagged as quest completed upon dropping
Yeah,
of the 10
we're
stone.
regardless. This run is.
Yeah, however it's timed, it's way better than before.
Yeah.
I can be proud of this run. I wasn't really that proud of the last one, but this I can be proud of. I feel like I actually had a decent run and a decent route.
Yeah.
My poor quest log, though. Yeah, let me just go to Crystwind and get the Crystwind Town Stone, and then you'll tell me to go to the next town. That's so funny. So yeah, I'm actually... Something I didn't do last time is I'm actually going to exit the game now so we can see the final stats. 2 kills, so that would have been that one Krug Shaman that dropped the Rune of Diamonds, and the Dragon Queen. And 45 deaths.
There. 45 deaths.
That's actually not too bad.
All right, next time you gotta shave 30 minutes off of it, a kill, and 40 deaths.
Yeah, there's also an in-game time here, but that also includes like the extra couple bit at the end I was standing around for. So
yeah,
I didn't immediately exit the game. So
all right, next time 1 kill, maximum 5 deaths, and shave 20 minutes off.
I guess 1 kill would only be possible if you're able to glitch out the Dragon Queen chest.
Wait, no, okay, so you get the... First off, there probably is a way. But, okay, what... I thought the kill besides the Dragon Queen was not necessary.
No, it is required.
So 2 is the smallest number that you can get. Okay.
Yes, the other one I had to kill was a Krug Shaman that drops an item called the Rune of Diamonds, and I need to hand that in exchange for the Crystwind Town Stone.
I forgot that was also required. Okay, so you did this with the minimum required kills, unless there's a way to glitch the chest.
Yeah, and God, I hope there is. But yeah, thank you for joining me, Jason, and keeping my sanity up. I feel a lot more functional than I did at the end of the run last time, which probably also helps that the run was 2 hours shorter.
There's something to help deplete your sanity a little bit more later on.
Yeah. Oh boy. All right, well, thanks for coming. Thanks to anyone watching the archive. Bye-bye.
All right.